Hello and welcome, and whoever is going to watch this after the stream, basically what I do, I just paint, draw, and answer questions. Depending on who is following me and supporting me, I do certain streams that can actually help people out. So I hope you'll enjoy whoever you are. Now, today, if you checked the previous episode, I started painting this one, live stream. So now I have to focus on making this one less flat. Hey Ville! On Discord? Anyways. Drinking my coffee still. God bless coffee. Coffee's the best. So let's zoom out a little bit. So there you go. So this is what we're gonna work on. Okay, notes about the canvas. This is a canvas that I bought. It was a little bit too rough for my taste. So what I did, I used ground from Gamblin. And I think I added maybe 2 layers, so the canvas is super smooth. First layer, I did it only with raw umber, and I think because raw umber is so transparent and oily, I had to use the fan brush to make the oil stick to the canvas. So I just did a sketch with raw umber, and I let it dry properly, and the next day, as I said in the previous episode, basically I just started painting. I have reference here on my iPad. The horse that I'm painting is quite blue, but I'm going more for raw umber, because in general when we look at horses, it's not really blue, it's just the camera that captures it in that way. It's very interesting. We have to know the technology behind the cameras. As I know there's a lot of people who work from photos, they just copy the photo, but in reality, in life, even when you paint snow, it's not really just white and blue. There's a certain warmth to it. Bună, Dani! Anyways, so the only thing that I'm a little bit stressed out, even in the photo, this is extremely flat. I have been drawing horses before because even around this area, I actually darkened more this part because the photo reference is just so much blue around here, which makes the painting, the photo look very flat. So I think I'm just gonna keep on going and try to get certain values and structure to the horse, and then let this one dry, because yesterday on the stream I said that I will not paint on it if it's not dry. It was a tiny bit wet, which was actually nice to work on, because I painted before. I painted today before I started the stream. I just wanted to warm up so I don't waste the time for you guys too much. So that's all the notes I took. Hey David. David, I'm staying over at Castellet today. My mobile just died. But anyways, I'm gonna stay at Castellet today, so I would love to do some 3D tonight. That would be super fun. Of course, Google. I don't care about you. Go away. There you go. Okay, let's take our sketchbooks out, get the paintings going. I have... Sorry, I switched on the mobile, so you guys heard a little bit of a double sound, but I solved it. where was I? Yeah, I put lo-fi bits, so I guess this music is a little bit more easier to listen to while you guys also have the stream on. Danny, later on, if you're still on, we can talk a little bit about your work. So let's get cooking, let's get working, okay? It's like I was talking yesterday with Wilhelm. If you have a daily job and you don't feel like you really want to work, you can go to your job and just slack a little bit around. With art, well, let's say anything artistic from music to ballet to fine art, it shows. If you don't work enough, it really shows in the quality of your artistic language. So we can't slack with this. Okay, let's get going. So my choices today, what I painted with, was the Bristol brush. The Bristol brushes, I actually used it in the white parts where I wanted really a lot of thick paint. And with this one, this is a synthetic one, and I really like to just render with it. So you guys will see me working a lot with this one. I love this brush. I brought it from here, from Sweden. It's their own brand, but it's a very nice synthetic brush, and I've noticed the other ones, they're really, really good and sturdy for oil, and quite cheap as well. So I'm really happy that I have this chance of buying. Also, I've noticed that I clean up my brushes a lot. I use the cloth a lot, and at the end of the day, I was looking at my hands, and they weren't looking very good, I can tell you that. So I've been wearing plastic gloves. I think it's more healthy than destroying my skin. I really, really think. I sweat because you can't really breathe through them, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I don't paint with toxic paints. Okay, so where was I? So one thing I've noticed this part here, one reason I picked this horse, I forgot the name of the painter, but when I was a kid I was looking at this art magazine and I found this artist that painted this white horse, and it was so, the contrast in it was so beautiful. I am a little bit, not unsure, what's the word for it? Yeah, well, I will get some fancy ones. What do you call that? Shy, I think it's a little bit shy. Because at the point when all of this will dry, I'm gonna go with some hard glazes and darken around here to like really make that bone stick out. Because if I would have painted this one from life, most of this part would have been so much more darker, like more in shadow, it would have had more atmosphere around it. I am squinting even at my photo. It doesn't really help because there's no light bouncing back, so it's still a bit flat, but at least I can get an idea a little bit of how things were turning if I would have painted this from life. So for now, this part. What I also notice that I like doing, I take the fan brush and I take a little bit of my medium here. It's let's say almost 50% terps and the rest is just stand oil. And what I do, I just put it on my palette here. Because sometimes people takes too much oil on their brush. So if you're one of those people, just take a little bit of, you don't need to use a fan brush, just do a brush and just glaze a little bit your palette, and then you can just grab a little bit from over there without over taking too much, because oil in time does yellow. No matter, I mean, I was reading this book about materials, and unfortunately we haven't really found a way to just make that oil not darken too much in time. So far so good, and my paintings are still bright. Okay. So, the colors I've been still using, it's raw umber, transparent red oxide, ivory black, and replacement flake white from Gamblin. Okay, get my stick, and let's get working. me know if you guys want me to zoom in so you guys can see how I'm painting this. I'm a little bit zoom out so people can get an idea of what I'm working on. But if you want, I can zoom in. Hello Reda, welcome to the stream. So just so you know a little bit of what I do, I just paint and invite my friends and people in general that just wants to have a painting buddy. So, because sometimes as artists we tend to procrastinate a little bit, so it feels that doing this pushes people a little bit to actually work. That's pretty much it. If you're new here, because I don't know, I don't think I've seen you before. That's nice. Enjoy. Have fun. Hey GC, how's it going? Guess you're gonna head off to bed pretty soon. Just painting, continuing on this horse here. I'm really having a lot of fun painting this horse. In general, I just love painting horses. So it's not much happening right now. You have time for some painting or? No, you're tired. Wait, never mind. It's 6 a.m. over there. Long night, huh? Yeah. Have you always lived like this? Like always work during the nighttime? Isn't it hard for you to always do this? I was actually talking with Hendrik about you and I was like, I don't know how that person does it. I think I would have gotten sick by now. I use... Wait, let me show you. Let me find a clear one. What? No, I should have one over here somewhere. There. So you can find this great. I hope people will find their way back to the stream. Sorry, No, it's, sorry, I had to like take away the sound from the mobile. I don't know, my computer is quite old, I can't really afford to buy a new computer right now. I think it's from 2012. So it's been doing this actually, where it crashes down if it's a little bit too much going on for it. So I do have my computer, I'm streaming high quality. I have the camera, which is 1080p, and then I have my mobile as well. Yeah, I hope people will just find their way back. We'll see. So before you go to bed, I'm just gonna show you. Let's hope the computer won't crash anymore. There you go. There's the camera. Okay. Yeah, I know. That's when the computer. I was like going towards the. Alright, so you see this? This is the bucket, and the first time I bought one was in USA actually. I think Dick Blick is called. And what you want to get? Cat hair for my cat. So you see it has these little holes here. So when you buy it, make sure that the holes are drilled in. So when you clean up your brush, the holes, if they're not drilled properly, the holes are going to eat up the hair from your brush. And that's about it. You can actually buy them via Amazon as well. They're starting to kind of grow, and they're super nice. I think I have 5 buckets. No, four I have. Because they get the brushes get dirty pretty fast, and then what I use as Turps is this one. I really like this one. Some people say that it's not very good, but some people are a little bit, so into materials. It needs to be, I don't know what type of material. And for example, for me, if I paint with Turps, the one that smells, even the one that doesn't have the smell, I get headaches. Is another type of oil to mix your paints? Well, the thing is, I started using stand oil, and stand oil dries slow, which is very nice if I want to still have the paints a bit wet for the next day. Also, if let's say black raw umber, they tend to sunk in quite a lot. You know, they lose this nice this glow that they have. It sunks in too much. So this is what I use. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. This one. And it's a really, really good one. It's stand oil Gamlin. That's the brand. I do mix it with the herbs that I showed you, since I don't want it to have too much oil. Mostly if you don't let the first layer dry properly, mostly when you want to do like glazings, and let's say the oil is super dry, and when you use the oil and you do the glazes, you need to let that oil dry properly, and let's say that the layer underneath is not really dried. You've noticed how sometimes they tend to make bubbles because that oil needs air to be able to dry. So it tries to come through. That's one reason it's good to let the painting dry really well when you want to do glazes and stuff like that. Yeah, linseed oil is good as well, but it feels like linseed oil is a little bit too waterish for me. Like this one that I'm using, I will show you here at the camera. You see that it's like honey? Look at that. It's literally like honey. It's really nice medium to work with. I have been reading about it because you have stand oil and then sun thickened oil. Stand oil dries slower, sun thickened oil dries faster. But they said, presumably from people that are very into testing out their paints and stuff, they said that stand oil doesn't darken as much as sun thickened oil. So I mean that's what the forums are saying. So that's about it. Let's hope that the peeps are gonna find their way back to the stream. Hopefully. Put some music on. There you go. Please, computer, don't fall down. I mean, don't restart yourself. As I read, not really. Even if, let's say, that my paints are mixed with linseed oil, and then I have stand oil as a medium, it doesn't do much harm to the pigment. I noticed that when I take, let's see if I can do this. I'm actually going to try to show you a little bit of something interesting that I've noticed. Okay. So this is black, maybe here. Okay, that kind of works. So now I'm gonna take some pure stand oil. You see how much more stronger it gets? It's very interesting. I'm not sure why. And of course you don't need that much, it's very little that I have on my brush. But it just gives a certain fluidity to the pigment. So I prefer working with that. Like let's say I usually mix transparent red oxide with black, and from what I'm seeing over here, the black is a little bit dull, so when I take a little bit of stand oil, you can see that little gulp, and I mix it. You see the elasticity of it. I'm not sure the word for it. It's more elastic. Look at it. It's so nice. And then it kind of glides onto the painting as well. It's that's one reason it's good. It's a good oil to do glazes with, because if you just have paint and that's it, and you just do brushing in. I wish I was English speaker first. So you have different techniques. You have something called brushing in. When you dry brush, you just have the oils and then you dry brush on the canvas. But maybe you want more of a smoother transition or a smoother kind of value, and also a little bit transparent as well. So what you need to do, what stand oil does, is specifically that. It permits you to be a bit transparent, and also, how should I explain it? What's the best example that will make a lot of sense? It's like when you have milk and you put cocoa in it. At the beginning, the cocoa it's a little bit thick, and once you add a little bit of milk in it, it kind of dissolves in it. That's basically what it happens with stand oil. Because you have that stand oil, it helps the color dissolve on top of the dry paint underneath. Because the thing is that when you have just pure canvas, there's a certain tooth to it and a certain smoothness to the canvas. But the more layers of painting you add, the drier it becomes. Stand oil does that. It like freshens up the pigments, even the one that's underneath. It just permits the fresh paint expand on the dry paint underneath it. Oh God. Yeah, makes the blending smoother. Hey Carlos Ciral. Oh my God, JC, I so wish English was my first language. It's so much easier for me to explain it in Romanian than in English. Like I couldn't realize the word glide. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say, like blending smoother, like the word smoother, I couldn't find it. It's frustrating. It makes so much sense physically, like technically and visually. If you were here, I would just show you what I mean, and you'd be like, oh, now I get it, it's that. So, yeah, that's about it. It is, it's so nice to work with it. Okay, let's go back to the painting. So we were like here. One second now. I will have to look at the screen to see what you wrote. So. My English. Sometimes when I get tired, I don't even understand myself when I'm speaking my own language. No worries. Well, I guess it's time for you to go to bed. Need to rest. Oh yeah, are you gonna have a holiday, like it's Easter coming? Hey Anders! Anders, next week William is coming to Kastellet. The boats are gonna start going again, so maybe that's gonna be more safe than the bus. If you are bored and you wanna come to the castle. Marian is coughing a little bit, so I told him to just isolate himself a little bit. For a while, at least. Take care, GC. Good night and hello to your family. Oh, hey David. Yeah, sorry, the stream fell. Yeah, he's been coughing. I mean, I don't think it's the you know what. I really believe he just had a cold and his throat is irritated. I also took, whatchamacallit, an allergy pill. Because I was sneezing so much and I was like, oh no, I'm catching a cold, this is not good. But then I noticed that I've been cuddling Misha a little bit too much and I'm allergic to cats. So I took this morning when I got to Castellet an allergy pill and now I have nothing, no sneezing, nothing. And you know, spring is coming and the trees here are starting to blossom, so maybe Marian might be allergic to some plants, I don't know. I don't want him to, because he's a bit worried with this you know what, so I don't want him to go, that he has presumably the thingy. Cabin fever. See you, Jesse. See you. Yeah, Anders, I mean, William has been really, he got so bored, he's been calling me. And at the point I was a bit confused why he was calling me. He was like, Theo, I'm home, I'm bored, I just want to see what's happening with Castellet. I was like, oh, no, I see, sorry. I'm such a horrible friend. It was funny. By the way, if the stream stops all of a sudden, it's because my computer is starting to crash. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, wait, I have the headphones on. Okay, there's no huge ventilation. Because Hendrik said that maybe it's the overheating, I'm not sure. So you got work. Oh yeah, you're still working from home. It will be so funny if companies will notice that it is working pretty well for people to just be at home and work. So sometimes if people are a little bit burned out from always going to work, maybe they can stay home. That can be nice. Oh, wait, yeah, you're working with that. That's horrible. That's not easy. You can't really do much since you kind of need your team to be able to work with it. Is it hard for you to connect to your PC at work? So if it's faster to code at work, at home, how come you can't really be able to? Because you said that it's broken. It's welcome, continue my task today due to things. Why are you blocked? That's what I don't understand. Okay. Have you managed to do any art, by the way, Anders? Okay, I understand. So that's how a company loses money. It was the same thing with Hendrik. He didn't have when he was painting on the stuff from work, he didn't have pressure sensitivity because he was working on his antique. And even when he got onto on the into us, it still had some issues. So they had to like go through all of the programs, remote Hendrik's PC, blah 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 blah. So it was a lot of things to do. You're being lazy. To be honest, I'm not feeling very motivated to work in that way on my art because the world is stressing me out so much. I actually stopped even reading about the news. I'm so fed up with it. The only thing that scares me the most right now is not really the corona, it's more like the economy going to shit. David, if you're gonna paint again, I really suggest you try out Stand Oil. I really think you will like it. Okay. I mean, right now, for example, I'm using mostly pure stand oil. Well, I did glaze my palette, the one that I have 50-50 kinda. I mean, if you have problems with solvent, you should try the one that I'm using, the Zestit. Because I have problems as well with solvent, like I can't really use the traditional terps and stuff you get from the shop. I actually ordered the Zestit one, the citrus smelled one. Do you know what I'm talking about? Gamsol. That doesn't really make you bad, like the breathing and stuff. Okay. Yeah. Fine, if you don't need my help, then why are you asking? Ugh.